These are the stories that keep me up at night. The missing, the murdered, the mysteries that have gone unsolved in our own backyards. I've covered crime in North Texas for more than 25 years, and now I'm opening up my reporter's notebook to you, revisiting cold cases and crimes that made headlines. There's some stories that sound like they came out of a movie. A small town, 2 military cadets, and a young girl innocently caught in a web of lies, jealousy, and murder. But it wasn't fiction. It was Mansfield, Texas in the 1990s. The case famously became known as the cadets murder case. Adriane Jones was a sophomore, an honors student. She ran cross country, and she was full of life.
I was really heartbroken to see what happened. People remember her name and they still talk about her name. And they remember very much Adriane.
On December 3rd, 1995, Adriane got a phone call.
I remember it was exactly 10:45 p.m. when he called. I remember yelling at her, "Get off the phone."
The phone call came from her killer. Adriane was lured out of her house. She never returned again. She went to go meet David Graham. He was a senior and ran track with her. He drove her out to Joe Pool Lake and stopped near a field. But hidden in the back seat of the car was his girlfriend, Diane Zamora.
He starts trying to strangle Adriane. Diane's come out of the back, the trunk, and basically they're going to kill her.
It was really cruel what happened next. Adriane was hit in the back of the head by Diane Zamora with a barbell. She crawled out of the car, she ran in the field and jumped over a barbed wire fence. Then Diane orders David to shoot her.
He took a pistol, climbed over the barbed wire fence, stood over her and fired a round into her forehead and her chin.
Her body was found the next day around the same time her mom had reported her missing. The original detectives zeroed in on a student at Mansfield High School and raided his parents' home.
They used a SWAT team to do a dynamic entry at his house, and a thunder flash went into the cradle of a 6-month-old child.
But it was the wrong guy, and the case went cold. Until months later, when a shocking confession leads them to 2 military cadets. Diane Zamora, by then, was a freshman at the U.S. Naval Academy. She bragged about the murder to her friends.
My boyfriend loved me so much, he killed for me. So if she had just kept her mouth shut, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Diane is arrested, and then David Graham is arrested at the Air Force Academy and brought back to Texas, and it was a media frenzy. The cadets were high school lovers. Graham, in an attempt to make Diane jealous, lied to her and said that he had had relations with Adriane. That's when Diane goes into a jealous rage and tells him to kill Adriane.
He could have simply kept Adriane Jones alive by having the courage to tell her, "I made this up to make you jealous." And he didn't.
The story and the arrest rocked the town.
It's just inconceivable to think that 2 smart young people could even think about such a thing.
And then came the high-profile trials.
You've got a little mini satellite city here, or Camp Zamora, as they're calling it.
This was at the height of the 90s. Everybody was tuned into all these, sensational court TV trials. Everybody's looking for what's going to be the next big trial. It was a gigantic national scandal story about these 2 supposedly good teenagers who committed this crime.
Grown men were crying in this courtroom when they were talking about Adriane. She sat there stone-faced.
Zamora took the stand, and honestly, that is what sealed her fate.
I was not sure that Diane was guilty until she took the stand.
Usually a lawyer will tell you if you're guilty, don't testify, because they'll pick you apart. And they got up there, and that's what happened.
The state of Texas having waived the death penalty, your punishment is hereby set at life in prison.
Both families lost their children that day.
My sister was very great. And when she died, something was ripped out of my heart that will never be replaced.
Zamora and Graham both got life sentences. They won't be eligible for parole until 2036. In the end, this was about a small town girl who had big dreams selfishly taken away. A lie, a life lost, and a case that to this day haunts Mansfield.